What is up, Fourth String Football? Today we are missing Levi and Christian. Nobody's really missing them because instead we have Skyler. Skyler, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm Skyler, 19 years old, uh, Victor Valley Community College, wide receiver. No, I'm kidding.
What? Just
No, I mean, I love everybody.
what team do you root for?
I'm a Chargers fan. Tough, but they look good this year, so I'm excited.
They do look good this year. All right, we're gonna start it off with a bit of a loaded question, and I think I'm gonna start off. I'm really eager to talk about this. Do the Eagles need to start worrying? I'm gonna go ahead and say absolutely. They currently have two straight losses to teams that they 100% should have beat. Like they were favorited very much winnable games, and if they don't beat the Vikings this week, they're in some deep doo doo because they need a bounce back game. Hurts needs to start playing better. Based on completion percentage, the more he throws, the worse he does. It's just a fact. When he throws more, he does worse because he's not good at throwing the football, quite frankly. Their run game also is non-existent. Jalen Hurts is rushing for like the least he has out of any season to start it off. Literally all of his stats are from the tush push and like one or two like 10-yard runs. Saquon's doing absolutely atrocious. He only has 3.4 yards attempt and 54.2 yards a game. That's not what you need out of your last season 2,000-yard rusher. Would be record holder if he played week 18 as well. This is a genuine problem. They're a run-first team. That's why they won the Super Bowl last year. And if they're not able to establish that run game and they rely on Jalen Hurts' very subpar passing, they're going to continue to lose, especially against the Vikings defense that is very good this week. And I think if they can't win this game and they're set at 4-3 now, it will very much set them out for not any amount of success.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the Eagles do need help, but before I talk about what I'm gonna talk about, while we're on the topic, so you said that Hurts is not very good passer in general,
Yeah.
and they need to establish the run. What do you think about the Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts comparison? If you were to switch places, how different do you think either the Jets and the Eagles would be right now?
I think there's an honest argument that the Eagles will be about the same. I think really the only advantage Jalen Hurts has in the Eagles system is just that he's a bigger body, and so it helps with the tush push more. Justin Fields is a little slimmer, and so I will say there is a benefit to having such a big body quarterback when you run the tush push. But I will say that doesn't really matter when you're false starting and offsides every single time that you do it anyways. Because they are, if you go back and look, especially against that Chiefs game. I also forgot to mention, I'm glad that you gave me the microphone back. Their defense is also not doing good. Currently they're 15th in points allowed and 30th in yards allowed. That's terrible. Last year they were a very good defense, arguably the best in the league, and they're not doing almost anything on defense to help out their very poor offense currently.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely correct. Personally, I think that the Eagles they definitely should start worrying whether or not they win this game. They need to lock in because Minnesota is obviously it's their most important game this season thus far. And oops, I just hit a button on my laptop. Um, and if they don't turn around, they're really gonna be in trouble. That's gonna be 3 straight losses in games that they're favored to win, and there's gonna be serious questions regarding like the organization and the team as a whole. If they can't win this game, 'cause I think they're only favored to beat Denver by 4. But either way, if you're favored to win a game and you lose, it's one thing. But if it happens 3 times in a row, then there's serious concern. So I think that they should start worrying as soon as possible and figure out what they need to get fixed.
Well, especially as reigning Super Bowl champs, because whether you like it or not, when you just won the Super Bowl, even if you were just a deep playoff team, there's a higher expectation on you. Like, the expectation is that when you're supposed to win a game, you go in and you get it done. Like, you just won the Super Bowl.
Exactly, as a reigning champion, that it literally means that you are currently the best team in the league, and if they're supposed to live up to that standard, they can't be losing games like these.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. You guys make great points. This is definitely a make or break week for them. If they can't pull out this victory, it's definitely time to start worrying. Right now, they're still sitting at 4-2. It's still, pretty good record, better than most. But they did just lose 2 weeks in a row. especially to the Giants. They got torched by the Giants. Jackson Dart, I don't know what happened with them, but they had that what was that defensive player? They had Zadarius Smith. He just retired mid-season.
That
I
is
don't know
true.
what happened with
Yeah.
that big pass rushing guy right there, just up and left. So um, they still have a baseline right now. They're 4-2, but if they don't win this week, it is definitely time to start worrying. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on the Zadarius Smith retirement. That actually came as a shock to me, especially as a Lions fan when us trading for him from the Browns last year helped us a ton after we had lost.
That's what I'm
We needed
saying.
to fill in that. Zadarius Smith is a very solid edge rusher that will be a
He's a
very
good player.
He's very solid and will be a. He's really good at keeping the focus off of your star because you have to look at them too. And so a team that's looking to bring Jalen Carter's looking to be back for this week. And so if they had kept Zadarius Smith, I don't know the backstory as to why he retired. That wasn't public knowledge. I don't know if it will become public knowledge. I would imagine it's just personal reasons, being an older player. But I just think that's a little out of the blue, and it definitely is not in the Eagles' favor. But on a similar note to potential fraudulent teams, Buffalo just had a crucial loss to the Falcons. And so my question for you, Skyler, is: are the Falcons a good team, or are the Bills just fraudulent? Are they just not good?
Well, I think it's really just a bit of both here. You kind of got to look at Bijan. He just blew up. I don't know, like his performance Monday night, that was crazy. What did he have? 230 something scrimmage yards? That's one hell of a play right there. See you later, Will. um, they're showing Falcons are showing really good flashes. They're looking to be an established team. They're looking to be really good. Michael Penix seems to be like he's getting rolling, and like he threw that touchdown pass to Drake London. Watch that live here. He's looking really good. And I mean, really, Josh Allen, he played a mediocre game, threw a couple interceptions. I mean, he could have played better, but like I said, I think it's a bit of both. Bottom line, I think I lean more towards the Falcons being legit. I think they're starting to come together as a team and figure things out.
Yeah, I would completely agree. And actually, to touch on what you said, to bring up the actual stats, Bijan had 238 total yards, 170 were rushing, and then he had a rushing touchdown on top of that. Drake London had 158 yards on one touchdown with 10 catches, which is obnoxious. It would be 2 touchdowns if he wasn't at the inch-yard line going to the half. I want to keep that in mind. Obviously, he didn't get it, but I would arguably say should be 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen, 15 for 26, only 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Was only rushed 6 for 42, which out of a scrambling quarterback like Josh, you really can't get that. I think it's a little bit of both, like Skyler was saying. I would honestly argue though that it's like a lot of both. I think the Falcons are extremely slept on this year, and I think it's because of that terrible outing in Carolina. But I almost say that needs to just be ignored because you see this every season. A lot of times, most notably like with the Browns and the Ravens, they tend to do it a lot. You just get worse teams completely dominating better teams when they're in the division. Just because those divisional rivalries just brew really what seem like goofy games, but it's because when you see a team 2 times a year, every year, you're gonna get some wild games that are absolutely not normal. And I think that doesn't pay respect to the fact that the Falcons are currently have the 5th best running offense, 2nd most total yards a game. Literally the only thing they're doing bad on offense is just that they have a poor-ish red zone percentage when it comes to conversions. They're about middle of the pack. And so if they just fix their red zone issues, they're going to be a top-tier offense, no doubt. They also, as far as yardage allowed, they have the best defense in the league, and they're 7th in points allowed. They have a very good defense. So I think, honestly, Buffalo just got out-defensed. I mean, Buffalo's defense doesn't help that Christian Benford left partway through the game. I think they had another injury or 2 on defense. They were hurting going into and leaving that game. But it was just not a good showing by the Buffalo defense. And I think it really showed that if you're the front office of Buffalo, your Super Bowl window will close the moment Josh Allen leaves, and you need to capitalize on the fact that he's here and get that man an offensive line and get him some weapons. Because when your defense is healthy, it's fine. You can have a slightly above average defense when you have a guy like Josh Allen. You just need to get him some weapons. When your top target's Khalil Shakir, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, I agree with that. However, I do think that The Bills, I wouldn't say they're fraudulent. Obviously, they had a bad game. Josh Allen, like you said, did not do well. But it's going to be hard to pass the ball when you're playing against the number one ranked defense and passing yards allowed.
No, but you got to keep in mind what's their record? 4-2. Okay, so those four wins. Those 4 wins are against the currently 1-5 Ravens, 0-6 Jets, 1-5 Dolphins, and the 1-5 Saints. They've yet to have a good win. Of their 4 wins, those opponents amount to 3 combined wins between the 4 teams. They've literally only beaten bottom of the barrel NFL teams, and the 2 times that they faced actual competition, they looked like they weren't on the same field as them.
I don't know. Well, it's just hard to say because, like you said, they haven't played a real team except for the Falcons. But the Falcons is like basically the what's that thing called, kryptonite, because they had a great rushing offense, which Bills have an awful rushing defense, and they had a great passing defense, whereas the Bills basically rely on Josh Allen. And if Josh Allen is having an off game, or whether it was an off game or it's just the defense was too much, or a mix of both, I still think that the Bills had an off game, and I think with even some better teams, they can still play competitively and keep it closer. And I think that, honestly, they're still my favorite to win the AFC. But as of right now,
with the Colts, with how the Colts are playing right now, the Buffalo Bills are your favorite to play. With how the Colts are playing, with how the Chiefs looked last week.
I don't see the Colts going to the Super Bowl. This is the team that you see going to the Super Bowl, winning the AFC, going to the Super Bowl. I would see the Bills making it because I think they're more well-rounded than the Colts are. But that's a different conversation.
Well-rounded?
I disagree with
no,
that.
No, this is the conversation now. Well-rounded is the term that you use to describe the Buffalo Bills. That's the opposite of. I would argue the Colts are one of the most well-rounded teams in the league.
This is my brick of tissues.
Their problem has always been quarterback, and now that they fixed their quarterback problem, they have a decent defense, solid wide receiver core, elite run game with Jonathan Taylor, and now that they have a good core, and I'm saying
mid.
Actually, I'm going to say great quarterback with Daniel Jones, like.
Whoa!
Yes, I'm saying.
Can we say elite there?
I'm not saying elite, but I'm
Daniel
saying
Jones.
I'd say he's top 10 right now this season.
If you were to tell yourself that at the beginning of the season, bro. I think that you would have the same reaction.
Season. No, I said it going into the season that he was going to look way better with the Colts.
This guy's lying.
I know. I've said it.
Bro,
no, I think everybody knows. Everybody knows that
it was a Giants problem. We saw it with Saquon, and we see it now with Daniel Jones
and Darren Waller. Darren Waller too.
Darren Waller
pulls up to Miami and catches three receiving touchdowns.
After being on his couch making rap songs.
Yeah,
for
right.
A year.
He came out of retirement. It's a Giants thing. I don't know how Jackson Dart's doing it, but Colts are definitely looking better than them.
Yeah, the Colts. I think the Colts go to the Super Bowl this year if they keep it this level. Now, if they have a fall off, if they have a fall off, sure. But if they continue to play at the level that they're playing, they're going to the Super Bowl. If every team plays how they're currently playing, it's a Colts-Bucks Super Bowl. That's just a fact.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. But no, we were getting a little off topic. But this one might be a little close to home for Will. Is Joe Flacco going to be winning anybody some football games? I'll let you start off with.
No, he's in a very similar situation that he's in Cleveland. The main difference is that his wide receivers are much better, but the O-line is much worse. So there's not much you can do with possibly one of maybe the best wide receiver duo in the league right now is on the Bengals, but you can't do much with that when you have zero O-line. And it's just hard to it's hard to say.
Continue.
Go
ahead. No.
Okay. But he's not gonna be winning games. He's meant to be. I don't know. I think he's still supposed to be a tank coordinator. But also Jake Browning is just too bad. I think Jake Browning was just an embarrassment to the franchise, so they had to do something with that. They can lose games, but they shouldn't be throwing like 3 picks a game.
Well,
so Flacco's not gonna do that. He's at least gonna keep it competitive and look decent for the team, but I don't think the goal with him starting is to win football games.
Yeah, so Flacco actually wasn't their original target. They actually, funny enough, they called Derek Carr and asked him if he wanted to come out of retirement, and they were willing to make a trade for Derek Carr because obviously currently his contract rights are still held by like they're still held. He's not just because he retired allowed to go wherever he wants. But they were willing to trade for Derek Carr, and they were calling about a few other QBs. I know they didn't call New York, but Joe Flacco was not their first option. I think he was just the easiest one. But no, I don't. I mean, probably not. I mean, it's the Bengals. Joe Flacco's not a bad quarterback at all. I mean, if you put him in a decent system, like he's gonna throw for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, like a pick. I mean, that's all you can really ask for out of an old veteran backup. I mean, he played decent this week against the Packers. He threw for 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. But, I mean, the Bengals aren't in a situation where they can win without an elite quarterback like Joe Burrow. It's very similar to what we're seeing with the Ravens right now, how they're 1-5, which is astonishing. If you told someone 2 months ago that the Ravens were going to start this year off 1-5, they'd look at you like you're taking crazy pills.
And the Colts 5-1, 5-1 Colts and 1-5.
This entire NFL season looks like we're playing in 2013 when Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady are still in the league.
Well, Peyton Manning, I think, was on the Broncos that year.
Not in 2012.
Yeah, it was more like early
2012.
2000s.
He went to the Broncos in 2013.
Said 2013.
Did I say 2013? My bad. I meant like 2010s. But no, yeah, he went to the Broncos in 2013. But no, I mean, I just
What am I watching on my TV right now?
I just don't think Joe Burrow. I don't think without Joe Burrow they can't do anything. I mean, they have no offensive line. They have no defense. That's not like you need to put up 40 points a game to win games. And Joe Flacco's not that guy. He's gonna be the one that puts up. He's gonna put up 20-ish points. He's gonna throw more touchdowns than picks. He's not your go in and win it for you. He's just not gonna lose you the game, unless you're the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I definitely, I think it's all a unanimous thing. He's not there to win games. He's just
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns are the worst franchise in NFL history.
They're pretty bad. Anyways, like I said, pretty unanimous. He's not there to win games. He's just there to be a placeholder for the moment until Joe Burrow comes back. I mean, I think he's honestly more of just a fantasy quarterback because he has upside. He actually does have upside in those 2 wide receivers, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. He got traded, came to the Bengals, and threw 2 touchdowns. I mean, but he, like we all said, he's really not there to win games. He's, but could be a good fantasy pick. Only if you need upside, though. Only if you need upside.
I just really like him as a Jamar Chase owner. When his first outing gets me 20+ points. That looks really positive for me, and pretty much everybody else that took him at the 101, I think that's really just a good thing in general. Because I was worried there for a little bit with Jake Browning at quarterback. Quite frankly, my personal fan theory is that the Bengals GM has Jamar Chase in fantasy, and so he would rather win his league instead of tanking. And so instead of keeping Jake Browning and just tanking for a better pick, he decided, I don't want to do the punishment. I want to keep my hair. I don't want to shave. And went ahead and got Jamar at quarterback. That's my fan theory.
Could be true. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's also the Bengals. He's on the Bengals, I mean, they also give up 40 points a game. What is going on?
Will, did you just put an old podcast episode on the TV in the background?
Last week's episode on.
So, when you have a defense like that, an offensive line that really can't hold back anything, it's just going to be tough to win games. So, yeah, I don't think so.
It's not going to They looked good against the Packers there for a little bit, but, I mean, eventually the better team pulls out. They can't keep that up for an entire 4 quarters, unless maybe, like, they're playing the Browns, I guess.
You expect me to disagree with you? The Browns are trash.
All right, this is an interesting game. Steelers-Bengals, Thursday Night Football. Steelers at Bengals. I think, what's the combined age of the quarterbacks? 82?
When I was watching the Delaware, it was Delaware and who were they playing? Delaware, Jacksonville State. They were talking about the game, and the commentator called it the Icy Hot Bowl. That was pretty funny. I chuckled.
Like the thing old people put on their backs when they have back pain.
Yeah, like on joints. Yeah. He called it the icy. I chuckled out loud. I thought it was pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. Personally, in the Icy Hot Bowl, I actually hear me out on this. I think the Bengals can actually win this. If one thing can happen, if they can slightly stop the run game. If they can ever so slightly contain Jaylen Warren, I think they win. But if Jalen Warren gets to just go ham, which I hope he does, I have him in fantasy, I think they win. Because even if they keep him to like 80 yards and a touchdown, I just think that the Steelers themselves have looked about average. And I think that the Bengals, with their offense, can actually sneak a win out here, especially these division rivalries. These division rivalries brew a lot of upsets, and I think that if they go into this week with their number one game plan as stopping the run, I think they can win it.
Wait. So you're picking the Bengals to win this game?
Yes,
record.
I'm picking the Bengals. For the record, I am picking the Bengals.
I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you there.
This is not financial advice. If anybody listening to this podcast,
don't put money on the Bengals. Don't put money on. I don't know what the line is. I might say spread. I don't know what the spread is.
It's a 5.5 point spread.
I wouldn't even put money on that spread. However, it is risky, but I think the Bengals can pull this through. If they play like they did against Green Bay, they beat the Steelers. Just quite frankly, if they play I disagree, because they let Josh Jacobs run for 30 fantasy points on them, which I also loved as a Josh Jacobs fantasy owner. He's my league winner. I draft him in literally every league every year. He's the GOAT. But I think if they can just contain Jalen Warren to sub 100 yards and not more than 1.5 touchdowns, they win. I just think they do. I don't think the Steelers' passing offense is going to do enough to win them that game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to disagree. You did make some good points, but, Steelers do have some momentum. Their passing game, not super good, but DK Metcalf is getting started. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look terrible. I mean, he is like a million years old. He's a fossil, but, they don't look terrible. Coming off a bad rushing defense game for the Bengals, Jalen Warren could be set up for a pretty big game here. I think the Steelers are probably going to take it by a touchdown. I think the Steelers are going to win here.
I agree with you.
And it's also the Steelers' defense. They're known for having a good defense. They got a good line. I think it's ultimately going to come down to the trenches, and I think the Steelers are going to take this one.
Yeah, they just got off of their hardest, most competitive divisional rival from last week, so this is a much easier game to play this week. So if anything, they're just going to take the score that they beat last week's
who got off the
division
most
rival.
competitive division rival?
Steelers did last week.
Who did they play last week?
Who'd they play?
The best team in the division.
Did they play the Browns, bro?
Yeah.
Alright, bro. I thought they had a bye week.
No, they played the Browns.
Oh.
No, the Steelers played.
Oh,
Yeah,
they had a week 5 bye, yeah.
Yeah.
I went against DK Metcalf. He put up 20.
Yeah, so, in all honesty, I have the Steelers to win this game just because they're a more well-rounded team. They're able to throw it through the air. They have a good ground game. Their defense, only problem could be with, I don't know, they're going to be able to stop the run pretty easily. If Flacco is able to make some good connections through the air, that could be an issue. But Jalen Ramsey has been playing extremely well so far this season, and I expect him to step up again this week, and I think he's going to be a big role in the Steelers' win. Yeah.
I don't know. I still think Bengals can pull through if they can contain Jalen Warren to sub 3-digit rushing. Which I don't think he's yet to put up a 3-digit rush game yet. I think he's just had good scoring. Don't quote me on that, though. Then Sunday, we have the battle of, I don't even know what. I don't know. This is either going to be the best game of Sunday Night Football season or the worst. We have Falcons at 49ers. This is either going to be like a blowout or it's going to be like one of the closest games of the year. There will be nothing in between. Personally, I think 49ers win it. Kyle Shanahan's system could get like a JV high school player 200 passing yards and a touchdown or more. I think he's just like the greatest offensive mastermind of our generation, quite frankly. And I think that despite the fact that the Falcons have arguably the best defense in the league, I think
it's
that Kyle
freezing in my
Shanahan's
dorm
gonna
room
do
right
that.
now.
I don't care, Will.
Bro, it's so
Aren't you
cold
from-
in here.
Aren't you from Ohio?
It is freezing.
You're from Ohio.
I have shorts
bro.
on. I have shorts. I have no socks. I have my dogs out, and I'm freezing.
I have socks on. Y'all want to see my socks, bro? My socks are lit. Hold up. Look, they're Batman socks, okay? But they have capes.
You want to see my socks?
Not real.
My socks have capes.
I got the bank.
Please Please tell me. Please tell me that was staged. Was that staged?
Are you good?
Was that on purpose?
Sorry, that was staged. Definitely. So
I don't
I'm not
think
showing
that
my
was
stocks
staged.
again. My stocks for anyone that's curious.
I know what's
Not
going
done
on the
yet.
Instagram.
Yeah. No. Are you good? You fell really
No,
hard.
I'm good. I mean, we got carpet.
No, but he fell really
I
hard.
think my
He
headset.
fell very hard.
Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the 49ers take this one. I think if they feed Christian McCaffrey, it's gonna be a pretty good. It could be a close game. I think it's gonna be a high scoring, pretty close game. Bijan Robinson versus Christian McCaffrey. Excited to see the matchup, but I really think that if they feed Christian McCaffrey and they don't make too many mistakes, I think the 49ers are going to take this one. But I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game, pretty close game. I'm
I
excited
think
to
it's
watch
gonna
it.
be close. Yeah, it's gonna be. In my opinion, it is gonna be close. It's gonna be very competitive. I don't know about high scoring, but it's gonna be close. Whether it's like 10-13 or like 40-41 in overtime. Um, but I think it's gonna be a good game to watch. I do have the Niners winning this game. The Falcons coming off a big win. I don't think that they're going to be able to pull it off twice in a row. I do think the Falcons are a good team, but Christian McCaffrey, like you said, is going to do some things to this Falcons defense because James Cook I don't think he played too great in their game last week. So I think that he's going to make a big impact. I didn't check. Do you guys know if Brock Purdy is back?
That's a good question. Let me look.
He's questionable.
I know Kittle's still gone.
Yeah, no, he's questionable.
Um,
Kittle's actually Kittle's questionable for this week too.
Yeah.
Is he? Well, he
Yeah.
still hasn't practiced. Like as of right now,
so
as of
Brock Purdy
Wednesday,
right now is. Go ahead.
I can
Go
pull up.
as of Wednesday, no, as of Wednesday, he hasn't practiced. I was just looking at it earlier. I seen it on
Brock Purdy right
Mm.
now is limited at practice. That was as of today's practice. He was
Well,
limited today.
either way, they're gonna be fine through the year because Mac Jones has been balling.
It's not bad. He's been looking pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, but like Mac said, a high school quarterback could look like Tom Brady in that system. So
This is Daniel Jones' sleeper
Look
profile
at
picture.
Josh Allen's is his wife.
yeah, I saw that.
I also that
Did you see
reminded me.
Cam Skadaboo?
I'm gonna take
Did
this
you see Cam
opportunity.
Yeah, I did see that.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to shout out my personal Instagram page and what happened today.
Why?
My Instagram story. So I
Why
figured.
are you shouting that out?
No, I was told by Mr. Stallard that I needed to show this on the podcast. So just him falling reminded me of it. I figured that this was worth shout out. Go follow my personal Instagram when you get to see gems like me almost dying at school. It's pretty lit. But no, yeah. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's like the GOAT. Probably the greatest.
Are you not gonna pull up the video?
I did. I didn't share my screen with you. I put it on.
Oh,
I put it on so that
I got you.
I put it on so the podcast could see it. And if you're and if you don't watch the video and you listen on Apple Podcasts, if you're one of like the 3 people that do that, that just means you have to go look at my Instagram, get my followers
Exactly.
up so I look more cool. Because right now, the only people that follow me, I follow them back. But no, I think Monday Night Football is going to be a lot more interesting. We have the doubleheader. Actually, I want to talk about for a second the second game of this doubleheader, the Texans and Seahawks. Why is that game starting at 10 p.m. Eastern time?
I think what they're trying to do is they're not trying to have it overlap like they did with these recent games. They're just trying to have, I think it's.
Bro,
Like, I get that
am I
it's being
retarded?
like it's being played in Seattle. Like, I get that it's on the West Coast, so for
Yeah,
them
that's
it's
true.
7 p.m. But like, come on, like, bro, 10 p. Like Eastern time is the standard. It literally is Eastern Standard Time. Like, I understand that I'm biased because I'm in EST, but like that's the default that the NFL goes off of. That's what everything, even college football, they call it Big Noon Kickoff because it's at noon Eastern Time.
Yeah.
Sunday
And also most of the
starts at
better
1
colleges
p.m.
are East.
Starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's like the default. I don't understand. Like, I get that I want to give the West Coast like a night game, but like 10 p.m. that means that for Eastern, like that game's not gonna end till like 2 a.m. It's gonna be 1:30 by the time that game's over.
It's also not a very good game. I think the Seahawks are probably gonna easily take that one, in my opinion.
Oh, are we talking about the Seahawks one? Or
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Bucs?
I want to save the Bucks lines for afterwards. Texans Seahawks. I mean,
I think.
yeah. I mean, he's definitely right there. Seahawks win it. I mean, I don't even really have that. I didn't even pull up any statistics just because, I mean, the Seahawks are playing great ball. I don't really see a world
Guess
where
what?
the Texans win.
Guess what?
Guess
Everybody said
guess.
that about the Falcons. About the Falcons last week. Everybody said Falcons gonna lose. Falcons gonna lose. Guess what?
The difference is that we
Texans
actually
ain't, bro.
no,
Texans aren't
no,
winning, bro.
No, but Will, I will say that was a mistake on our part. We neglected to actually look at the Bills and the fact that all their wins were against bad teams. Like the Seahawks have had some pretty solid wins.
Who's that Atlanta?
Like let me pull up. I'm gonna pull up the Seahawks schedule.
Seahawks are definitely balling right now.
No, listen. But while you're looking up the schedule,
Hold on, I have it up. They've beaten starting at the beginning of the season. Okay, so they lost by 4 to the Niners, respectable loss. They beat the Steelers 31-17. They beat the Saints 44-13.
Nice.
They beat the Cardinals by a field goal, and then they beat the Jags by 8 the week after the Jags beat the Chiefs. Like,
Jags don't look terrible.
sorry, they didn't beat the Bucks by 3. They lost to the Bucks by 3. Correction, but I mean, like,
Yep.
their only losses is to the very solid Buccaneers and the very solid 49ers, and they were both a field goal. The Seahawks look very good right now, and that's like a legitimate look good, not just it's Buffalo.
no, yeah.
No, they look good.
Yeah, you're right. They're a very strong team right now, which is why I think the Texans are gonna take them down. Because if I've learned anything from being on this podcast, every time I pick a team, the more sure I am that they're gonna win, the more likely they are to lose.
Well, this is the time. This is the time that there's no being sure. The Texans just aren't good.
Yeah,
Listen
the
to me.
Seahawks are playing lights out right now.
Listen to me. Texans are coming off of 2 wins, 2 big wins. All right, they've outscored their last 2 opponents 70-10.
You want to?
And then they're coming off a bye week.
You want to talk about what teams those were?
No, I didn't write that on my notes for that reason.
It was the Titans
I don't
and the
wanna hear-
Ravens.
I know. That's why I didn't say that part.
Because you wanted to make it
70
sound better.
70-10 regardless is a good way to outscore any 2 opponents, especially in the National Football League. Both the Seattle losses have come at home this season. This is their 4th home game. They've only won 1 at home so far. They're about to lose their 3rd home game of the season. And Seahawks fans are going to stop buying tickets. They're going to lose all their money and have to relocate to Cleveland and hopefully give me a better team.
So that's your prediction for Monday Night Football.
That's your prediction for Monday Night Football? That the Seahawks are going to move to Cleveland?
For the Texans and Seahawks one.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't really see a world where the Texans win that. I just don't. They're just a worse team in every regard.
Did you see a world where the Falcons beat the Bills?
No, I also didn't analyze that game at all.
There was the world though.
I just didn't
guess
look at
what,
that
though?
game. I looked at
I
this
didn't
game.
either. I didn't look at that one either, and I picked the Falcons to win.
No,
and I didn't look at this one.
No, you didn't.
That's what I said. I didn't look at that one. I picked the Falcons to win. I'm not looking at this one, and I'm picking the Texans.
You didn't pick the Falcons, though. You picked the Bills.
No, I didn't. I was the only one to pick the Falcons, because Skyler agreed with me.
Cap. But like,
All right,
I
bro.
still don't see.
I'll literally pull up my notes.
I'm
I'll
so
pull my notes
confident in the
this week.
Seahawks winning this. I don't know how you aren't confident in the Seahawks. What's your score prediction?
Last week, hang on. Last week in my notes, Falcons pull off an upset at home. Bills had a tough loss at home a week prior and will be unable to bounce back. They'll underestimate the Falcons, be overall outplayed, which is exactly what happened. Anyways, my score prediction for the Texans and the Seahawks, I got Texans winning it in a close matchup, 4-3.
Are we
So
serious, bro?
what? They're
So
gonna
you
get
think
2
that
safeties?
The Texans get 2 safeties.
Well, yeah. How else would they get 4 points?
Okay, bro. So they're gonna win from getting 2 safeties.
Is that how
Yes.
is that how unconfident you
Okay,
are in
listen.
their
If
offense?
if that's what happens, I'm going to wire you a band. I don't even.
Yeah,
care.
if the final score of that is
wire you
4-3, I'll wire you every dime in my bank account. All like 1,500.
All right, and
let's move on from this game.
all right. Bucks at Lions.
I'll take
I still
turmoil, but yeah.
can't get over the fact that this bum picked the Texans, bro.
Bucks
How-
at
are
Lions.
you-
Come on, this is your team.
All right, bro. Look, I'm a be right here, and this hurts my soul to say. This hurts my soul to say.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Bucks might win this, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Look. However, I will say, I'm going to pick the Lions regardless. For 3 crucial facts. Okay, number 1, in the Dan Campbell era, they have never lost back-to-back games. Since the second season he was there, not the 3
I was about to
and 13
say
season. Not the 3 and 13 season. Since the good season, they didn't lose back-to-back games. Okay, since they've been playing good. Actually, that's also a lie. In the last 2 seasons, they've never lost back-to-back games. Okay.
Number 2.
Number 2, okay, they get Aleem McNeil back. Okay, that's going to be huge for pass rush. It's going to take a lot of heat off Aiden Hutchinson. It's going to help out the fact that they have a weakened secondary right now, especially considering that the Brian Branch suspension was not appealed, which, regardless of what you think, I don't know why that appealing officer was allowed. I forget his name. Dude was a lifelong Packer. And this was his first appeal. I don't understand why. I'm going to pull it up right now because it made me very mad. Brian Branch appeal. Because it was Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson became an NFL appeal officer.
Really?
This is the first suspension he's ever appealed. The lifelong Packer, his first suspension that he gets to appeal is like Brian Branch, the most like aggressive pro-Detroit player that we really have. Like really, look, the dude punched the guy. He should the suspension makes sense. I'm not surprised they did it. I just think that they picked a poor guy to appeal it. I don't know why you gave the lifelong Packer, their division rival, as his
I have a
first one.
Jordy Nelson football card.
There's definitely some bias there, but regardless,
That's why I know who
this is not a conspiracy podcast. This is a football podcast. No Brian Branch.
Football conspiracies drop every Friday morning. Separate podcast.
No Brian Branch. No Terron Arnold. They have 4 other corners missing too. But Aleem McNeil being back for this pass rush is absolutely huge. It is an amazing addition between him, Al-Qadim Muhammad, and Aiden Hutchinson. And then Marcus Davenport as well to help out on some certain down situations. I think that the pass rush is going to improve greatly. Hutch is probably going to get a sack or 2 this game now because of it, because he's not going to be the main focus. Because before, Hutch was the main focus, which is why Muhammad had more sacks than him. But now that McNeil is back, you can't treat Muhammad like you can McNeil. McNeil is a genuine threat. And so that's going to absolutely be amazing. It's going to help stop the run against the team that Rashad White's been doing good, because Bucky Irving is still out. Chris Godwin is still out. As of now, Emeka Egbuka is out as well. Not to mention the Buccaneers' right guard and right tackle is also out. Mike Evans, however, is questionable. He might make his return. He is expected to make his return. He was limited in practice today. I don't really see a world where he's not back by Monday just because they have the extra day for recovery. And then my third point is the Detroit Lions, bro. I don't know. They win games. What can I say? Also, my third point is that they're wearing the black uniforms. Okay, that's the toughest uniforms in all of football. I don't know what else to tell you. The all black unis with the blue helmets. I don't know if there's a better uniform in football. And
I like the Browns whiteout uniforms.
I would say
all
Viking.
of the Chargers uniforms.
Okay.
Chargers are tough.
This is Glaze. No, the Vikings whiteout's better than the Browns whiteout. I think Vikings have the best whiteout uniform.
Can we talk about the Bengals whiteout?
The Bengals whiteout's kind of tough.
Oh,
I like the.
They look like zebras.
I like the
They're
Vikings.
Siberian tigers. You're
the,
so ill-educated.
I like the Vikings whiteout because it has the purple and chrome accents. But now I think I'm gonna take Detroit here, but it is a very close game. However, I will say, if our pass rush is doing poor, we lose. If he's even average, we need an electric pass rush. If we don't get at least 2 sacks this game, I don't see a world where we win, just because the pass rush is going to have to make up for the secondary struggles. Kelvin Shepard's going to have to call a near perfect game on defense to counteract what is currently MVP season Baker Mayfield. So we need the switch around, and we need the pass rush to do very good with Aleem McNeil back. But considering that he's back, that's the biggest piece. That's an absolutely huge piece that people don't talk about, I think, enough because of Aiden Hutchinson. I take the Lions, but it is a very close game. And Vegas agrees with me. I believe they are 2.5-point favorites.
That's interesting. Um, I'm looking at my notes. I was in class when I was writing my notes, and I wasn't really like I was like half listening to class, half writing it. So I didn't actually pick somebody to win. I just literally like said an overview of the game. I said Bucks are down a whole bunch of receivers. Mayfield's on a roll, but it might be hard for him to get in a rhythm. The game will be close, and the Lions secondary is hurting, and that's all I put. So
So who wins?
if I had to make a
Actually, no, no,
guess,
no, no. Hold up. No, 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 no. I'm gonna let Skyler go. So Skyler, I'm assuming you're gonna pick the Bucks. If I had to guess, yeah. So Skyler go, and oh no, you're picking the Lions.
I'm picking the Bucks.
Let's
I'm
go.
picking the Bucks. I'm picking the Buccaneers.
Why are we jumping on the chair, bro? This guy's roommate is asleep, by the way.
No, he's not. He's out. I don't know what he's doing. But the people who live below me, I think, hate me because I'm always like jumping around. Professional upstairs neighbor.
Bro. Skyler, you are muted, bro. This guy unplugged his microphone.
Hold on. So my notes here is just say Lions take it. I didn't have too much time to prepare for this. You guys made some good points. I think the pass rush is going to get to Baker here, and maybe if Mike Evans comes back, the Bucks take it. I think it's going to be close. It's really just if he doesn't come back. I mean, the Lions are at home too. You got to also factor that in.
true.
The Lions are at home, so they could take it by like a touchdown or maybe even a field goal. It might be a close game, but if Mike Evans come back, it might just be. I don't know.
I think it's also worth noting that yes, the Lions are at home. The Lions, and this is backed up by zero statistics, by the way, have one of the best home field advantage stadiums. The Lions have some of the most loyal fans. For reference, we had a few games sold out in 2008. And for those of you who don't have years memorized, 2008 is the year that we went 0-16. We had a sold out stadium.
Isn't that like every single season up until like?
Yeah, pretty much up until like 2023. Pretty much. But like 2008, when we became the first NFL team to never win a game in a season, we still had a home game or two that was sold out somehow. Granted, they all had bags on their heads, but like the tickets were sold. Detroit has one of the most loyal fan bases in all of sports. That's not just exclusive to football. That home field advantage is going to be electric. I think that's going to definitely help the bounce back.
Do you have a chart? Do you have a?
No, I think he took notes in his math notebook.
Oh.
Because that's his rational functions. Are you doing 8th grade math? What math class? No, pause. What math class are you in?
Graphing polynomial functions.
That is like 9th grade math, bro.
Hold
is that
on.
like the name of the class?
Page.
Is that no? Like, what's
Next
the
page.
name of the class? What's the name of the class, Skyler?
Pre-college algebra.
Pre-college.
Pre-college algebra.
You're in college.
So we got operations with functions too. So this is playing a big role in my notes today. Quiz number 8. That's gonna help a lot with the next segments we got going. So let's
moly. This guy's
keep this rolling.
This guy's doing freshman level math.
It's rolling.
19 years old.
Let's keep this.
All right.
Let's keep this rolling. Let's go.
We want to let out of order there. We're gonna change it up. Will has forfeited his segment in favor of a prolonged.
Because I don't want to do it no more.
In favor of a prolonged segment of mine. And so let me pull up my notes. The unique part about this is that there will be zero preparation by then. They have not prepared for this at all in the slightest. If I can just pull up my notes, if I could find them.
Cooked.
I decided to not label them in my Apple Notes page, which was genius.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. While we're waiting on him.
Oh wait, no, I texted it to myself. I'm stupid. Now I got it. I'm done. All right. So currently, I'm sticking with the max underdog. Currently, I don't understand why they're considered the underdog, but currently the Chargers are favored over the Colts. They're 1.5 point favorites, and so I'm taking Colts personally. They're my favorite to win the AFC. But just some statistics. Chargers have the worst red zone conversion percentage in the league. They only convert 35% of the time that they make it to the red zone, which is abysmal. And that's going to help out Indianapolis a lot because Indianapolis only has the 15th best red zone defense. And so the Chargers' red zone offense being so poor is going to make up for the fact that the Colts have an average red zone defense. The Colts, however, are 4th in points allowed per game, making up for the poor 19th in yards per game. Okay, they have a very good points per game defense, but a poor yards per game defense. I don't really fully understand how, but
that just means they can make the stops when it matters.
Like they make the crucial stops is the important part, and so I think that's going to be big. Where the Chargers are really going to lose this game, though, is the run. Their defense allows the 4th most rushing yards, despite being 14th in opponent run attempts per game. They're completely middle of the pack in opponent run attempts, and yet they allow the 4th most yards to the rush. Currently, the Chargers defense allows 5 yards a carry on average, and they're now facing who is my personal favorite for Offensive Player of the Year, Jonathan Taylor, who is currently averaging 6.5 yards a carry and has played very solid run, not very solid, but has played decent run defenses. Not to mention the fact that the Chargers have faced some of the most average run offenses in the league, which is what they're allowing these 5 yards a carry to. I just quite frankly don't see a world where the run game doesn't walk all over. Where they're gonna walk all over LA with a run. Jonathan Taylor's gonna have one of his best games of the season, and I think because of that they're gonna win. Not to mention the fact the Chargers are going to have red zone struggles.
You forgot one important factor. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here.
They didn't know what game I picked either. They're freeballing this.
You forgot about this one.
Madison.
This is a very big factor in the Chargers and really all of their games, and I think you kind of just left that out. I mean, that's gonna be huge. I know this is your segment. I'm taking it away from you, but that's something you got to factor in, man.
Madison Beer. Is that we've extended the segment so you guys can argue with me.
Okay, yeah. So, anyways, also, I know Amari Hampton's out. Who's coming in for him? Vidal, right?
He's looking good.
It is
pretty good game last week. But my main point there, Madison Beer, and I'm also a biased Chargers fan. So,
this is
go Chargers.
True.
Bolts up. Let's go.
So looking at this, at its face value for both teams, the Colts are a better team, even though that they both played well so far this season. I also am a little confused as to why the Chargers are favored. So I don't know if I really call it too much of an underdog. Maybe
that's what I thought. The underdogs this week were really strange. There was a lot of just games. Okay, this is gonna be a blowout, or this is just so close of a game that they're not even really an underdog. And so I figured I'd pick this just because I honestly just kind of wanted to talk about the Colts more because I really like the Colts this year. I really like Daniel Jones. I like him a lot. And
I really like the Colts.
And also, I would like to mention that with the Puka Nacua injury, I personally think Jonathan Taylor's just going to win Offensive Player of the Year now because Puka was really his only competition. And now that he's going to miss probably another game on top of the fact he only had 28 yards last game because of it, I don't see a world where he's able to come back from that.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about how Jonathan Taylor is going to win Offensive Player of the Year since Puka got hurt. Puka was the favorite. Jonathan Taylor was very close behind, and Puka being hurt, missing another week on top of the fact he only got the opportunity for 2 catches. You're about to say something stupid. I know you're about to say something stupid.
CMC is going to win it.
No, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. Jonathan Taylor is playing better than him. CMC is going to win Comeback Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year goes to the best offensive player, and Jonathan Taylor is playing better than CMC.
Well, unless the best offensive player wins MVP.
Yeah. But that's usually MVP is the quarterback. Offensive Player of the Year is the non-quarterback usually. That's basically how they do it. You have to be a pretty good player to win MVP, not as a quarterback.
When I won MVP as a linebacker, it was really different because I actually won an MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year,
Well, what
Comeback Player
Madden
of the
was
Year,
this?
and Head Coach of the Year.
What Madden was this?
It was the one with Peyton Willis
Okay,
on the
bro.
cover.
You're not a real person.
Oh, y'all want to see some cool stuff I got
I
going
want
on?
to know what Skyler's looking up here.
I got a thing of oh crap. I got a thing of tissues that I attached to my wall. It's a little
Why?
thing of tissues.
Why?
Just in case I need them.
Also, Skyler, what are you looking up?
I'm just looking at the
I'm on
current
black and
stats
white.
here. Jonathan Taylor is definitely just a better all-around rusher. He has
So you agree with
almost
me?
almost double Christian McCaffrey's yards, but I think because Christian McCaffrey has the second most receptions in the league behind Puka Nacua, who is going out, could play a factor in that.
False.
He's a
He's
big
not gonna win. He's not gonna
False.
win
He's a
MVP
running
or
back.
offensive
No.
He's a running back that doesn't run the football. He just catches it. He gets inflated because he's the best fantasy running back because of PPR points and how crucial receptions are for a running back in fantasy. But he's not. I don't even think he's on pace for 1,000 yards right now.
No, I don't think so.
Like, he's not rushing very well. He's rushing completely average.
I'm also biased because he's on my fantasy team, and he's putting up like 25 points a game.
Yeah, because of the receptions.
So I like that.
Because of the receptions.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm looking. Let me see his rushing yards. 55, 69, 52. Yeah, pretty mediocre. 50. He hasn't had. I think he's still. Yeah, he has yet to get an over 100-yard rushing game.
He's not.
Which
playing,
is.
He's gonna win comeback player of the year if either him or Aiden Hutchinson, just because they're the two dudes doing well after being injured last year. But
6 teams you should take it. Yeah.
um,
But like I said, I think I'm just biased because he's doing real good for me on my team right now.
that is very true. And then familiar segment to wrap it all up: fantasy football. I'll start off with I have 2 disappointments today. Stephon Diggs. For the love of everything that I love, can you just be consistent, bro? Like, I don't understand why we're doing this to me. I watch him put up like 15 points. Look, I'll even pull it up exactly as it is to show this. Because I watched this dude put up a decent game on my bench. And then I go, okay, I'll start him. He does very good. And then he does nothing. Stephon Diggs. All right, look. I watch him put up against Carolina. He puts up 16.1. Okay. He was on my bench. I go, okay, I'm going to start him now. He's looking like a good part of the offense. Against Buffalo, he gets me 24.6 points. Very good. I was very happy. It helped me win my game. And then he puts up 5.8 against New Orleans. Like, what are we... It's one of the worst pass defenses in the league. And you're only getting 6... You're not even getting 6 points. It's just embarrassing. Similar to that, Matthew Stafford. Picked him up off waivers. Needed a solid QB. I get that Puka got hurt, but that was your first bad game of the season.
How many fantasy points did he put up?
9.34.
That was pretty.
He's done very good this year. He had 13,
bad.
then 17, then 14, then 27, then 26. I was expecting, okay, he's coming off 2 good games. He's playing Baltimore, very bad pass defense. This is the automatic start. Dude's going to put up 20 plus points. And then he doesn't even get double digits. It's insane. I don't know. It was very aggravating. They weren't really crazy disappointments. There wasn't super high expectations, but just the inconsistency is my least favorite thing ever in fantasy. Hence why I hate Bill right now, because he'll have 15, then 5, then 15, then 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and say Are we going? What are we doing here?
Disappointments.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and go. Are we doing 2? I'll go 2. I'm gonna go with my number 1 being Romo Dunze. He came in. What was he? Top 10 in wide receiving. Came out, projected some decent points. Projected about 14, 15, depending on what kind of league you're in, and he kind of just let down. He's averaging 17 fantasy points every week, but He only put up 5.2 for me this week, and it was kind of just a letdown, you know. I still won my league because I had George Pickens and um, Rico Dowdle and stuff, but, you know, just a letdown for me. And then I'll go my second one here is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. 7.5 points. That's very underwhelming here. He had 17 carries, which is a lot, you know, it's more than most, for 65 yards. And he was 1 for 2 on receptions and he was just stuffed at the line of scrimmage. So no touchdowns. It's kind of just a letdown, you know. I mean, I was expecting more out of him. He's, you know, top 5, top 3, some could argue, if you're a max top 3 running back in the league. But,
I'd say top 2 right now. Top
right
3
now, I disagree.
Top 3 right now.
Yeah, I'd like to say
I'd say it's
Jonathan Taylor.
It's Taylor Bijan Gibbs this season.
Yeah, probably something like that. But that's definitely my other letdown of the week. I'd like to see a better week out of him.
I do
especially
too.
going against KC. They're having a little bit of trouble on defense, nothing major, but I'd like to see something better.
Yeah, so my disappointment for this week was Travion Henderson. He wasn't projected very much, but they had a big game against the Saints, which is not very good in rushing or passing defense. So I thought this would be, here's Travion Henderson breakout game, which he is still due to have one. He's been playing, I guess, up to standard for a rookie running back, but I think that with his I guess tier of skill that he's in, he can definitely take control of a game.
I don't understand why he's not getting the ball. Gibson
that's
and
what I was
Stevenson
thinking
are
too.
fumbling so much. I don't understand why Mike Vibro keeps giving him the ball.
That's I really think that at this point it's bound to happen very soon. But I was thinking that last week
against flirting with his daughter or something, bro. That's the only explanation. Like you were getting flirty with the coach's daughter. That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know. I didn't know.
Because there's gotta and that's obviously that's a comedic joke, but there has to be some locker room issue because when you have a solid looking rookie and your 2 starters having multiple fumble issues with back to back fumbles, like you're getting and they've still yet to give the rookie a real shot. It's insane to me.
Yeah, it's just confusing in my opinion why he hasn't blown up yet, and because he could really help the offense. They're already doing well this season, and I think if they start giving them the ball more on the ground, they're going to be able to get a lot of rushing yards and really be able to implement that into their offensive play calling.
I completely agree. And then for fantasy sleeper, you might not call this a sleeper, but I think it is just because of the matchup. I have one. I'm going Cam Skadaboo. I think that it's hard to call him a sleeper when he's been doing good, but you got to think about the fact that he's going against Denver this week. It's the 4th best run defense against running backs, and so in fantasy, and so I would imagine that the general consensus, especially in a not large league, is if you have multiple running backs, Skadaboo would be the one that you bench there. For example, in one of my leagues, I have my current starting running backs is Gibbs, Jacobs, and then my flex spot's kind of up for grabs, and I'm putting Skadaboo in my flex because, quite frankly, I mean the weeks prior, he was projected about 14, 15 points a game after he kind of got, he fully got the starting role. He's only projected 11 or 12 this week. But I think that he's going to perform equal, if not above, expectations this week, despite the fact that Denver's going to have a good defense, because I think that they're going to rely on him. I mean, if you're New York, if you're Brian Daboll going into this game, you have to look at the fact that you're going against what is arguably the best pass defense in the NFL. You have a rookie quarterback who, despite the fact that he's been playing well and he's rushing very well and the scrambling game is very much there, he's not throwing all that crazy. I mean, he's throwing completely average numbers, and even his first start, he only threw 100 yards, and then he threw 2 picks against the Saints. It might have been 2. It might have only been 1. I'm not sure. But, as far as the pure throwing goes, Jackson Dart is not at all fully developed yet, not even close to fully developed as a pure thrower, and they're going to know that. And so Denver's going to know that too. They might look at the run a little bit more, but I think that Cam Skadaboo is definitely going to be the lifeline of this offense. And because of that, I see him getting upwards of 20, 25 carries like he's been getting. He's been getting 15 to 25 carries a game. I see him getting upwards of 30 carries, getting some Rico Dowdle level volume. Keep in mind also, though, that Tracy Jr. should be back for this game, so he might see some reduced volume a little bit, but I just think Scadaboo's the better back. Tracy Jr. is a good receiver, but when you're talking about just pure running the rock, Cam Scadaboo's just the better guy, especially when you're talking about this Denver defense, that the only way for you to really go in and win is to just play real classic smash mouth football. And Scadaboo's your guy for that. Don't be surprised if he's getting 20-plus carries and he manages to put up 15-plus fantasy points.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Before I go into mine, I really like the emphasis on smash mouth football, because if you give him the ball and you need a physical running back, it doesn't matter who they're playing against. I think they run it with Scadaboo. He falls forward. He just always falls forward. It doesn't matter whether he's 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He's gonna only lose 2. If he's 20 yards down the field, he's gonna push 3 guys ahead of him and probably pick up like 30. So. He's definitely a very physical running back. So in this scenario, they're playing against a tougher defense than they've been playing, and I think that he does get a lot of carries and he's going to do good. But for my sleeper, I have who do I have? I forgot, chat. Oh, Tez Johnson, 146 pounds, I think. He's a little guy. He got targeted 3 times last week with 1 reception. I think it was like a 46-yard touchdown.
It was.
So.
It was a very funny story. Did you see the MVP thing behind that?
I did. That was funny. I thought I was chanting his name. But nah. With the receivers being down, I don't know. You said Mike Evans is gonna be back.
He should be.
Regardless, he's projected just above 7 points, and I think that he's really gonna be able to implement himself into the offense this week. Even though Evans is back, he's more of a quicker guy. That's sort of like the Emeka Egbuka type receiver that they're still down, because I don't think.
Well, you also got to think that with no Godwin, no Emeka Egbuka, he's the wide receiver too.
Who, Johnson?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're talking about Cameron Johnson would be the wide receiver too. But I think it's going to be very similar to how Detroit runs there. I think it's actually going to be almost identical to how Detroit wide receivers look going into this. They're going to have Mike Evans, reliable guy at the slot. He's the parallel to Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're going to have Tez Johnson, the deep ball guy that you're going to use to spread the defense out vertically. That's just a worse Jameson Williams. And then Cameron Johnson's going to be that semi-reliable wide receiver 3.
He's also half the size of Jameson Williams, height and
yeah,
weight.
That is true. But I just mean in the
by the way, you can spread the defense. Yeah.
But I just mean in terms of how they're going to do it, it will very much be. I think 80% of their pass plays are literally just going to be the most standard gun with a tight end blocking to make up for the injured O-line, Mike Evans in the slot, Tez Johnson out wide, and then Cameron Johnson just on the other side of the field running a clear route. That's going to be 80% of their plays. And so I think you're completely right on the Tez Johnson thing.
The other thing is that he is really a deep threat, and with how Mayfield has been doing, especially Evans coming back, if he does come back, he's definitely going to draw some more defenders inwards, because he is, like you said, a reliable receiver, possibly the most reliable receiver in the NFL. Maybe not right now, but if we're talking about just in the, I don't know, he's definitely up there.
I know what you're saying. I agree.
So he's definitely going to be able to pull some defenders in. So if he can get a one-on-one matchup with a slower defender, he's going to get some deep balls his way. And I think fantasy-wise, he's going to be able to rack up some points. So even though he's projected 7, he's definitely going to get above that. I don't know if I would say pushing 20. I don't know if he'll have that big of a blow-up game, but you never know, because I think he's definitely going to be implemented in the offense this week.
He definitely gets solid targets. I think he gets 2 or 3 deep balls for 40-ish yards each.
Yeah. What you got, Skyler?
Right. I'll get into mine. We talked about him a little bit earlier. He's not a super sleeper. A lot of people are starting him this week, but I'm going to go ahead and say Chargers backup running back now starting, Kimani Vidal. Going against the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're ranked just outside of the top 10 in the run defense, something like that, which is, still solid. I don't know exactly what they are. But coming off a pretty big game, what did he have? He had, I actually wrote it down coming into this because I knew I was wanting to talk about it. He had 142 rushing yards and a receiving touchdown, so already a pretty good play there. He could be a pretty strong flex option for your team if you're looking to get some upside on points. But it
For
could
my
go
team, he
really.
would be a running back 1 because my team is trash in all my leagues. Actually,
Yeah,
except one.
if you got
Actually,
some solid running backs.
I'm actually 6-0
Yeah.
in one of my leagues.
Okay, that's tough.
Who are you playing? Toddlers?
That's tough.
Because
6
the
on.
league I'm in with you,
ironically,
you're 1-6.
Ironically, I'm actually like don't care at all about the league, and the commissioner texts me every like once or twice a week, fix your lineup, and then here, let me pull up this text real quick with him. This is funny. He said,
I was gonna
here.
say because I just beat you to make you go 1-6.
He
in our
tells me
league.
all the time. He said, let's see if
It's not.
it'll show.
Focus. All I see is
Let me
young
just
Sheldon.
let me just lower my brightness. It says, "This is how I feel telling you to set lineup." Cause every week I literally I don't pay attention to that league whatsoever. I just set my lineup once a week and then check it on like Tuesday, and then I just won again.
Yeah, you know,
Actually, I think I
I'm
lost.
gonna make funny. I'm pulling up your team in this league.
Don't.
This is
Bro,
the
don't
this
do
is
this,
the
bro.
league where William Potting is 1-5. Actually I'll just pull up our game from last week. Hold up.
Battle of the kickers.
That
It
was
came down
Battle
to
of the
it.
Kickers.
That
It
one-
did come
that
down
one
to
was
the Kickers.
close.
That was actually a really interesting game. For context, me and Will went into Monday Night Football. I was up by 1 point, and we both had only our kickers left. Sadly, he chose Matt Prater, and I had Matt Gay, so I kind of beat him.
The battle of the mats.
Stephon Diggs was actually the only reason I was still in that game, by the way, because I had two 30-point players, because I have Rico and Josh Jacobs. Stephon Diggs just sold me. But yeah, no, this was
Digging in your butt to win.
This was the teams. That's a lot to look at. But Will started, get this, Bo Nix, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara,
Yep.
T. Higgins, Ted
Yep.
McMillan, Njoku, Lad McConkey, Raiders defense, and Matt Prater.
Yep. Solid lineup.
Might be. I think
Rough team, man.
his entire team is comprised of
Pretty rough team, man.
his entire team is comprised of 5th-round picks.
Bro, the waiver wire.
I-
It's actually comprised of waiver wire picks.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
On the talk of, since we're all bringing up our fantasy lineups, I'd like to point out my 181.14 win this week. We had Jaden Daniels, Christian McCaffrey, Rashad White, George Pickens had a monster game. So happy for him. Brought up Romo Dundy, he only had 5. Trey McBride, Rico Dowdle. I picked him up a couple weeks ago, right when Chuba Hubbard went down. That went great for me. He had a revenge game. I could have brought him up for like surprises and stuff. He had 33 points. We knew he was going to do pretty good though. It's kind of written in the stars. He had 30 carries. You know, for a team that cut him a couple years ago. I mean, they're gonna feed him. You know.
You don't know ball. That's not how that went down. Rico Dowdle was on a I think 1 or 2 year contract with Dallas. It expired. They just didn't extend him. They didn't cut him. They never came to an agreement on the contract.
Or
He
yeah,
walked.
same thing.
I don't know why
Anyways.
though.
I mean, they
Yeah,
got
yeah.
out. I would argue that Javonte Williams is probably equal, at least in his output with Dallas. He's about equal to how Rico Dowdle was doing with Dallas.
He did have a pretty bad game last week against Carolina.
I mean, yeah, but like if you look at
Carolina
yards
defensive
compared-
line is not bad.
Yeah, but also I'm saying if you look at like at Rico Dowdle's yards and scoring and all that with the Cowboys last season, it's about equal to what Javonte Williams is having right now.
Holy cow! How long is this so far?
We're at an hour and 8 minutes right now, and we're about to wrap it up. Pretty solid episode.
All right. I don't think that I don't have any last words this week, surprisingly. So
I don't know if I do either.
Besides-
There's not a lot of news in the NFL right now. Besides, there's a lot of dudes coming back from injuries.
yeah,
I know Mike Gesicki
Oh,
just
actually,
got
I
put on
do.
IR.
I do.
That's big. That's huge.
My goat, David Njoku. Why did I get a notification that he is a trade prospect? That he's on he's a trade prospect.
False. That
I
that's
got
not
the
true.
notification. It said I got it like a couple of hours ago today
From what app?
from ESPN.
Yeah, that's one of the clickbait magazines.
No, it's like per
Whoa.
Pete Famos.
Yeah, Pete Famos is a clickbaiter.
He is?
If you get an ESPN app notification and it's not Adam Schefter, it's just a made up clickbait news article.
Okay, that's good then because
you can just pay ESPN money and they'll push your stuff out. But no, I have like some of the most reliable news updates in the NFL, and that's not a legitimate thing. I guarantee you that's rumors, and rumors mean nothing. There's not legitimate talks. Like if it doesn't come from a dude that knows people with the organizations, it's not real.
But what's his name retired? David Bell. I thought he was going to be a draft steal, 4th-round pick, I think, from 2022.
Cares. Nobody cares that David Bell retired, bro. You know what
Hey,
does care about? And look, I'm telling you this.
2023, 120-yard receiving game against the Jags with Flacky, my boy Joseph Flacco.
Look,
my goat.
Nobody
And
cares
also
about David Bell.
had like an 80-yard receiving
I
game.
have one closing comment for the fans. If you made it this far, this is some fantasy football advice. If you need a solid wide receiver pickup, look, pick up no other than Jalen Coker. Okay, look.
Oh, he's on my bench.
He is a full.
He's on my bench.
This week, he was a full participant in practice for the first time today, Wednesday. As we film this Wednesday nights. He was a full participant in practice. He will be coming back. And I'm saying this with full confidence here. I understand the gravity of what I'm saying. Do not be surprised if in a week or two he is getting equal target share to Ted McMillan. Jalen Coker is very good. When he gets a legitimate chance in the Panthers offense, he showed it last season. He is a very solid wide receiver. I'll even pull up the game logs real quick from last season. Haven't looked at these, by the way. I'm just that confident in Jalen Coker that this is going to look good. He won me a few games last season. This guy, he's on IR. He's within the practice window. They're likely going to take him off this week. Yeah. He does have some injury problems, which is why he's coming off this. But he had a 17-point game against Denver and a 21-point game against Dallas and a 14-point game against Atlanta. Granted, that's sporadic, but when he gets targets, he gets points. Add him to your benches. If you have a bench player you're willing to get rid of, add him. I don't care if he's an 8-man. Put him on your bench. He's going to do good. He will start taking targets away from Ted McMillan. And this also means Ted McMillan owners, you might want to pick him up in case somehow in some world Coker becomes a better red zone target than Ted McMillan. Because Dave Canales is just going to throw it to the better guy. He does not care about when he drafted them. That's my closing note. The fantasy football news that you have been blessed with that will win you your league.
Only other thing I would have to say is that if anybody has made it to this point and is like Skyler's better than Christian because Christian's a bum for not wanting to be up here, we'll kick him off the podcast and
Christian, yeah, actually, I don't want to make it known. Levi had a legitimate reason. He had actual things to go to. Christian skipped this to study and sleep. He said, "I need to study." And
he's definitely playing R6 right now.
Actually, I'm gonna check right now.
Definitely love to be back for another segment. Would be nice. Pretty fun.
Yeah, well, we'll
more studying, more preparing time would be nice. So as long as I get a heads up.
We told this guy like an hour and a half ahead of time that he's gonna be on the show.
But we'll be good to go. I'd like to come back.
I'll give it to Christian. He hasn't been on Instagram in 45 minutes. He might actually be asleep.
We're studying.
You think he's studying, bro? Alright. That's a wrap for today. 4-string football. I hope you enjoyed. Pick up Jalen Coker. And Joe Flacco is a league-winning QB according to Skyler. So pick him up too, apparently. I don't know if I agree with that. But
I don't think I said that. I do think I said that he could have some good fantasy upside.
You did
but
say that.
He's not going to win games.
I mean, you said he's a good fantasy QB. That's what you said. But that's a wrap. I'll see you guys next week. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.